Live at 10.
We're reporting live on the news at 10, and I'll be talking about the African Americans' role in World War II.
Hi, this is Coretta, and I'll be talking about the Japanese Americans' role in World War II.
Hi, this is Betty, and I'll be talking about the Native American role in World War II.
Hello, this is Arthur, and I'll be talking about the role of women in World War II.
Hi, this is Charlotte, and I'll be talking about the Hispanics in World War II.
There are 1,056,841 Negroes in the armed forces, 885,945 in the Army, 153,224 in the Navy, 16,005 in the Marine Corps, and 1,667 in the Coast Guard. Tuskegee Airmen are the first black servicemen to serve as military aviators in the United States Armed Forces. The success of the Tuskegee Airmen have paved the way for eventual interrogation of the United States. I have recorded an interview with Tuskegee Airman Charles McGee.
Where my sister's birth, when I was a little over a year old. We spent time in Cleveland with grandparents who were in Morgantown and Charleston, West Virginia. When I was in the 3rd grade, my father was teaching at Edwards Wallace College in Jacksonville, Florida. We spent a year there, then back to Cleveland until 1929, when he moved to Chicago, Illinois, where he was doing social work.
What was the Tuskegee training facility like?
By the time I got to Tuskegee in the fall of 1942, the airfield had been completed. Although they had been training on it even while it was under construction, the 99th had completed its 33rd pilot cadre by the time I got there. At that time, Colonel Noel F. Parrish was the white commander. The previous commander, Colonel Frederick von Kimball, was not very supportive of the program, but he was relieved and replaced by Parrish, who had been directing operations. He believed in the program and the people.
What was it like teaching bomber pilots back at Tuskegee?
I think the first twin-engine instruction had already begun in the summer of 1943. Twin-engine pilot training started in the Beech 810 with Cheetah Weather Clunker. Then we switched to the TB-25J, a stripped-down B-25J. That was a marvelous plane with great, big, radical engines, a lot more power, and wonderful training platform.
We are just received devastating news. Sunday afternoon, there was a riot between blacks and whites. Rumor has it whites murdered a black woman and her child, and black rioters killed 17 whites. President Roosevelt has sent federal troops to resolve it. 9 whites and 23 blacks were killed.
The violent program has caused serious prejudice towards the Japanese Americans. General Emmons has been forced to order the internment of 1,444 Japanese Americans from Hawaii. The Army has rounded up 110,000 Japanese Americans and shipped them to relocation camps. The Japanese American Citizens League pushed the government to compensate those sent to camps for their losses. President Ronald Reagan has signed a bill promising $20 grand to every Japanese American sent to the camp. Thank you. Again, this is Coretta.
Despite the rise, discrimination, and racism at home right now, it is estimated that about 500,000 Mexican American men join the armed services. Some join to escape from poverty and discrimination at homes, adventures, pride, and a sense of manhood, patriotic motives, or because their friends or relatives had enlisted. This is what a fellow Mexican, Pete Ayers, had to say about the war. I know I am a Mexican, but I know that I was born and raised here, and I consider myself strictly an American. And anybody asks me what my nationality, I say, well, I'm a Mexican, but I'm still an American, and I will fight for America.
Okay, now let's get to the Native Americans. Over 44,000 Native Americans served in the U.S. military, or will is serving now. For every 1 drafted, 1.5 volunteered. American Indians' participation in the war per capita exceeded any other group. The Native Americans also served in all fronts of the war. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor seemed to awaken an ancestral war spirit in the Native Americans. The Navajo and other tribes were so eager to go to war that they stood for hours in bad weather to sign their draft cards, while others carried their own rifles so they would be ready for battle when they joined up.
Women are now enjoying employment gains because of the war. A little over 6 million women have entered the workforce for the first time. There is a total of 35% of women in the workforce. They are taking on jobs in defense plants, waitressing, clerking, bus driving, domestic service, and any other jobs they can get their hands on. Guayana Espionage stated this: The war is really creating opportunities for women. It's the first time we're getting a chance to show that we could do a lot of things that only men were allowed to do. The only thing standing between women and being equal
This is Only News live at 10.
Go.
Yeah, Jaelyn.
Yeah.
It's a Friday night show.
Hey!